I wanted to share a quick message right now for someone that may be feeling a bit isolated on their journey. This message is very specific. It's not going to be for everyone, but I trust that whoever has landed on this message is meant to hear this. That's the intention. And so you may have been walking your path primarily alone, in solitude, even isolation, especially the last few years. You have been going through your own little metamorphosis and have been incubating in your frequency and evolving and ascending. And so this isolation has been very much needed for your own evolution and your own growth process. But there's something else here that you need to understand about the power that you carry. You are an activator. If you're resonating with this as a light worker, healer, starseed, whatever label you want to put on it, you are an activator. And what that means for people is that it's very unsettling because people feel very vulnerable in your presence. And you don't even have to be saying anything, even though you are a truth teller. So you will say things that are very triggering for people. And then this also makes people really feel unsettled because they have to start questioning the mask that they're wearing, or where they're lying to themselves, or where they're being untruthful with themselves, or where they're abandoning themselves. And so even if you don't say a word, though, your presence is very activating. It's also very polarizing and repelling on a vibrational frequency level. As an activator, you carry the codes and the frequency to do this just based on your presence. This is why just you being out in the world, being fully aligned with your authentic truth and embodied in your divinity, is activating those, and you don't even need to know that it's happening, right? This is happening when you're at the grocery store just buying your groceries, like not even thinking about it or doing anything, let alone if you're actually in a container with someone where you're actually, activating or teaching or coaching or helping or healing in some way, being of service. You have a profound gift that God has graced you with. This is not ego. You are not above anybody else for this. Everybody has their own role, and everybody wakes up to their divinity at some point on this journey and accesses their highest ascension timeline. This is what you are doing. This is what you contracted for. You have a gift that God graced you with. This is why you incarnated here at this time of mass awakening. This is why you are on the front lines as a way shower for this, the event of a lifetime, literally. Like, you have front row seats to this mass awakening as humanity ascends collectively into higher states of consciousness, and you are here on the front lines as a trailblazer. You have gifts that you have been graced with that you need to understand. And one of those is that you are an activator at your core. You are placed by God in situations, circumstances, conversations, communities, organizations where your presence alone is a disruptor. Your presence alone on a frequency level activates those that you come into contact with, or that you come into vicinity with, right? And this is even more powerful when you're having like very intimate conversations, or very intimate containers that you might be hosting, whether that be like workshops or live events or retreats or coaching sessions or healing sessions or whatever that is. You have a gift of activation, a frequency that can be very unsettling for people, and they don't even necessarily know why. So you don't even have to open your mouth for this to happen, but they can feel very unsettled around the frequency that they're getting from you. And this is energy to energy, frequency to frequency. There's a dissonance. It's not in resonance, and that's all. And so you will repel people, even people from your life experience that you get along with, that you love, that you have fun with. But if if the soul is not ready to be activated at the level of which they will be if they stay in your experience and environment, then their soul is going to opt out of that because they have more things to take care of. Maybe they have more karma to clear. Maybe they have certain experiences they need to go through, because if they hang out with you, they're going to be activated. They're going to have to look at things that they might not be ready to look at on a soul level yet. You're going to illuminate things. They feel very vulnerable in your presence because you illuminate things for them that cause them to look at where they are hiding from themselves, where they are wearing a false mask, where they are not in alignment with their truth. And this is very unsettling for a lot of people. And if on a soul level they're not ready to wake up to that yet, then they're going to spin out of your experience. And those that are going to spin into your experience because you're going to magnetize them in. But you just have to understand that on a core level, you're an activator. And that is a very polarizing place to exist. And so many of you find yourself on a very isolated path. Part of that is for your protection. Part of that is because you choose that to help recharge your own batteries, because you're very empathic and you want to ground and be in solitude and isolation and connected to your own divine source within. And part of that is because some of the people in your circle have spun out of your experience, and so your circle gets very, very small on this journey. Not everybody's going to be able to hang out in your frequency, and this is not ego. This just is what it is. People cannot hide from themselves in your presence. People can feel the transparency because you have been gifted spiritual vision. This is one of your God-given gifts that God has graced you with. And when you have true spiritual vision, people will feel very vulnerable in your experience, and that will invoke fear. And if they're not ready to open that can of worms, so to speak, on a soul level, they're just going to spin out of your experience. So that's what's coming through right now. You're not going to be isolated on this journey forever. There's going to be connection and community coming in with people that truly get you at a core level and even have a similar divine mission. And there's going to be a lot of that moving forward. But this phase of isolation has been serving you at the highest level, and it also serves others at a high level as well, because God is placing you wherever you need to be, in front of whoever you need to be, so that you can be the living, walking, talking example of what is possible when you choose authenticity and love over fear. And if they're ready for it, they're ready for it. And if they're not ready for it, they're not ready for it. And this isn't saying that you're special, you're better than anybody or anything like that. This is not ego. Denying your gift would be ego. Denying your gift and saying, oh, I have this ability, you have this ability, and denying it in order to play small, in order to hide, in order to not be perceived as for your gifts, right? That's ego. Ego is on both ends of the spectrum. It's pretending like you're better or special than others, like putting yourself on a pedestal. And it's also the reverse of that, where you hide and you play small and you try to pretend that you don't have these gifts, and that these aren't just part of your natural divine birthright of what you came here with. So you humbly accept this gift. If you are resonating with this you are not if you resonate with my channel, you have humbly accepted your sacred service to humanity and why you are here. And that means fully owning your gift, all of your gifts, the ones that God gifted you in order to be on the front lines of this mass awakening. And that means fully owning your gift of spiritual vision and being an activator and a catalyst for others, and taking full responsibility of what that means. There is a level of responsibility that comes with a gift like that. This is not something that you take lightly. This is something that you lead with from a place of compassion, and that you lead from divine service. So this is not you claiming that you're like better than anybody and you have these everybody is a spark of the divine. We are all sparks of the divine, and everybody will have their anointed time in this lifetime or the next, where they wake up and remember their divinity, where they embody the truth of who they truly are. And when they shine in their light and their divine God-given gifts. And this time of anointing for you just happens to be now. So embrace it. Realize the power that you have. Take full responsibility for the gifts God has gifted you and graced you with, so that you can use them and put them to work in service to the divine for the highest and greatest good of all involved. So I hope this finds you well. And if this resonated with you, if this landed with you, and this message was meant to find you today, I would love to hear from you. Go ahead and drop me a comment. And until next time, I hope this finds you well. Namaste.